Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to my garage of assorted Oldsmobile parts and mess and ripped apart cars. So, where did we leave off? Well, last Sunday, we tore the 350 out of this car and kind of made it useless for now. But that's going to change here in the future, and hopefully the replacement engine decides to last, because that'd be really cool if it did. But there it is right there. 455 is still in the trash bag. It's still not fully assembled. As of right now, it's still just a short block. All the bolts are painted up. The block itself still needs painted. My timing cover, that's painted. Oil pan's painted. Balancer. So I know everybody's dying to see that 350 up close, so why don't we go take a look at it then? Here is the engine compartment. I still have to wire that transmission up with mechanics wire. I'm going to take it right to the top of the firewall because I got my buddy's floor jack supporting it right now, and he needs that back. AC compressor, we still got to evacuate the system so I can get this out of here. We're going to try and figure out how to put that back on in the future, but that sounds like a project that's going to happen next summer. And where I'm going to wire that transmission to is I'm going to go right through both of the upper ears on the bell housing and take it right to this bump stop that is bent. Because it's bent because the last time I had the 350 out of the car, about 2010, that's where I wired it to then. Alright, here she is. Nice, pretty gold 350. I'm trying to leave this motor with as much accessories and all the brackets as possible. Leave everything on here so it's a ready to drop in motor in the future. Leave all the vacuum lines. I still got the coil on here. Gonna leave the points distributor in here because we're going HEI. I did crack the date code on this thing, and I can't get to the side from here because I can't fit in between there. But I looked at the VIN number on my car. Check that. That's pretty cool. Where are you gonna find another one of them? But I did look up the VIN number on my car, which I couldn't find anything on because anything 80 or older, you can't really find anything on a computer for, because I think it's only a 13-digit VIN number. But for shits and giggles, I was checking VIN numbers on cars at the house. Like, the Camaro comes from Norwood, Ohio, which that plant closed in '87. But anyway, you guys can't see it on camera. It was hard for me to see without cleaning it up. But that 152 right there is the date code for when this engine was cast. And Jed from Scott Speed Shop looked it up for me, and 152, the 152nd day of the year, I think he said was June 2nd? June 2nd sound right to you guys? But the car was built in October 16th of 67 as an early release for 68. And the motor was built in June, so that makes sense. But what I was saying with the VIN numbers is this car actually was built in Lansing, Michigan, which I find to be very fascinating. I just think that's cool. Because, you know, they made these cars in Linden, New Jersey, and all kinds of other places, but mine's an actual Detroit car. Or a Lansing car. Looking into brackets. That's the power steering bracket. I found out that all my brackets on my 350 will work on a big block. Everything's pre-drilled, which is sweet. My power steering belt is the same, only the alternator belt's going to be different because it's a little bit further away from the motor, being a taller deck and all. But Chris just left here about a half hour ago, and what we were doing was we disassembled this Holley 770 we have right here. 770 or 780, I can't remember. I think it's 770. But that's all taken apart right now, and everything's sitting inside that can right there. Which I know the older version that chemmed up works a lot better, but this stuff does a pretty good job as well. We're gonna let everything sit in there for a couple days. And I couldn't keep my throttle base plate. I couldn't fit that in a can, so I put it in a cooking tray that I'm never gonna use again. And soak that up in there. So, the game plan is put this carburetor back together, get that done and out of the way, finish putting that together. Shit, I have a whole list written down upstairs. Today is Tuesday night. The whole plan is to have this engine in the car and running by Sunday. Maybe not fully tuned and ready to go cross country, but in the car and running. Because I'm off work this week and I go back to work on Tuesday. Actually, I'm going back on Monday, do a day of overtime. But anyway. Before I got carried away on some crazy rant, I still got a lot of painting to do. I've got a lot of parts to put together. It's gonna be a very busy week over at my house with no days off, apparently. Who am I kidding? We always slack around here. But stay tuned. That's gonna finish this part, and I'm gonna jump right into the next stuff I start tomorrow. One more thing I wanted to show you guys before we go on to the next step is maybe when you were watching the video of us pulling the motor out, and when the motor separated from the transmission, it jumped, and it broke my heater control valve and banged it into my voltage regulator. Well, I don't know what the voltage regulator looks like yet. We're going to take it apart and make sure it didn't get whacked internally, because if not, who cares? You can't even see the damage, really. But I'd like to show you the heater control valve up close. So, let me switch camera hands here. And, as you can see, evidently, it broke it off right at the diaphragm. Is where it took a whack. It really sucks because, well, it sucks and it doesn't, because I'm not using this. I'm not going to reuse the control valve. I think they're kind of useless. They're not useless, but I don't have a need for it. I just run my intake straight to the heater core. And but what does suck is this part right here was $50 back when I replaced it, when I put the engine in the car. Like 7, 8, holy shit, almost 10 years ago. How old am I? Well, nobody knows. Only my mother knows my true age. But anyway, yeah. So that little piece right there, minus the pedestal it's sitting on, that piece is $50. So it's not like I can use it on anything else around here anymore. Alright, let's get to it. It's gonna get wet. So I got the ladder bars all painted up, looking good, because for some reason Lakewood don't paint them yellow no more, and that's the only way they should be. But right now I'm going to show you guys how to make the most awesome homemade tape job on your engine, the lazy man's way. I'm not using these cylinder heads, and that's the spare intake for the Tornado engine. So rather than spend my time and masking tape masking a block off when it could be done perfectly with OEM parts. Let's see how this works out. Also, we'll note that this is built January 13th. It's a 70 engine. It's got E heads because it's a 70, big valve heads. And over here, this tells us 3OM. 3 is Oldsmobile, 0 is 70, and M is Michigan. So you might be asking yourself how that worked out. Well, I think it worked out pretty good. Only got minimum overspray on my silver intake, my aluminum silver intake.
Take the fucking turn.
There, now we can all point and laugh at the RAV4.
Fucking stupid twat.
Anyway, I say that plan worked out really good. The problem with taping up heads on this is you still get the deck right there, and then you'll never get paint on the deck.
Oh shit, this thing's heavy.
Yeah, no shit. The intake's heavy as shit on this thing.
You lied. You said it was aluminum with quotation.
Yeah, because I painted it silver, so it looks like it's aluminum. Hang on, I'll get it. I'll help you out. Hang on a second. And just in case you're worried about overspray, works like a charm. Look, it even puts it on this part of the block too, evenly. You can't tape a block up half as good as just laying the parts on it. Ooh, upside down. Perfect. Don't mind the dirty deck. I gotta wipe everything down with brake clean and make sure it's all pretty before it goes together. So we got our Comp Cam's double roller chain installed that says USA right there. And we got our chrome fuel pump put on. I think we're gonna go ahead and put the timing cover on.
Okay. Hey, Chris here from Tested Speed Shop. Hanging out with Useful Entertainment. We're working on the 455. Bubbles is even here. And we just had to do some clearance here. If you look on the cylinder head here in the fuel pump, we couldn't get the cylinder head down because this cylinder head comes out so far. It comes out almost probably almost a ½ inch, 3/8. So I had to get the old grinding stone out. We had to grind this back so that we could clear it on this fuel pump. So now we got clearance, heads down. It's not sticking up anywhere.
Oh, Chris, look at that. That's more than a half. That's about a ½ inch or more.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's about a ½ inch deep back, but that's what we had to do just here a minute ago.
That's what happens when you use orange chicken heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's get a feeler gauge out, but it clears.
Yeah, I got it pretty. My clearance is pretty tight. Chris here, Tested Speed Shop, putting Marty's engine together, and here we are. We got the head bolted on. Intake's just sitting there in the valve covers. It's looking pretty good. So
I'd say it looks good.
Yeah.
We gotta hog out the holes in the head so it would slip over the dowel pins. That didn't want to work.
Yeah, we had to do that.
We had to
grind the head to make the fuel pump fit.
It all fits on here nicely.
And we had to hog out the holes, the dowel pin holes in the cylinder head so that they would fit. So, yeah, those little guys from across the pond got us.
What does Mike always say?
You laugh now, round eye.
Who laugh now?
Just look how fucking high that intake sits. So.
Yeah, there's some out there that are higher though.
Yeah, this is the fucking Offenhauser Portasonic knockoff.
Is it?
Yeah.
Their patent
That's exactly what it is.
From China.
Patent must have run out.
It's a Portasonic Offenhauser intake without the label.
So there we are. Tomorrow's what?
Sunday.
In Rocker Arms.
Tomorrow's Rocker Arm Day. Gotta check all the geometry to make sure Orange Chicken got it right.
Yeah. So. All right.
Got $200 head gaskets on this thing too. Hopefully the heads don't have to come off. Because if they do, we're gonna take a trick out of Riley's book and copper coat the fuck out of them and put them back on.
Hey, it works. I mean,
yeah. Tell everybody on YouTube land what you did with your Mustang.
What do you use?
I took the head gasket off.
You use a caulking gun of Ultra Copper.
I put copper coat on it and put it back on.
Ultra Copper.
He reused his head gaskets on his '95 Mustang.
Oh,
he pulled his heads off.
You say it. You say it like I ran for like 100,000 miles.
No, I say it like you put the head gaskets on upside down, and then you realized after the fact, took the heads off, flipped them over, and put them back on.
I didn't put them on upside down. I put them on backwards. Well, all they were just crushed once. Just throw some copper coat on them.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked.
Uh-huh.
That's the life of Riley. You like that kind of shit? Go check out his channel. He does goofy shit like that all the time at his house.
See, the problem is I do this shit all the time and don't post it.
Yeah, he does stupid shit all the time. It's very entertaining and never records it. Like the time we blew up the battery in the Electra. That was good.
Not stupid, just out of the box thinking.
Out of the box thinking. The one time we were cranking over a 69 Electra and all of a sudden it blew a hole this big in the top of the battery and smoke was coming out like a volcano.
No. It melted the terminal and the lead from the terminal melted onto the plastic, which then melted through the battery. It didn't blow a hole. It just melted through.
Anyway.
Yeah, you won't see that on my channel.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll continue filming tomorrow. See you then.
Boring old man channel.
See ya.
Well, today is rocker day. It is and it isn't. And I'm going to wipe the lens off this camera because I see smudgy shit on there. So hang on a second. That should be better. Anyway, today's rocker day, and I can't show you what it looks like because these tall valve covers don't like to stay on, so I spun one of the bolts in. Chris just left. It's like 9:15, and I gotta go into work tomorrow. The guy that is runs my machine on my week off, he's not gonna be there, so I gotta go cover his shift. Me and Chris were playing with the rockers, and the guide plates themselves are adjustable. And we thought that we might be able to just zip them down and square them up in the center. Well, it didn't work out that way. You got to find the perfect spot for them and then tighten them down so the rockers all sit straight and the roller tips go right in the center of the valve. So we ran out of time. He's got to go home, go to bed because he works stupid early in the morning. And I got to go to work tomorrow. So let me cut to the chase. We're going to sum this video up. Next week we'll be back at it again. Then all we have to do is put rockers in this thing, put the intake on it, because, you know, it's an engine cover at this point. Put the sensors in, put gauges in the car, fit the headers in there, and I believe I'm going to try and take off a couple days from work. Also, I'm stacking vacation hours. So if I take off 2 days, that leaves me 8 to 9 days to do this whole project, and I don't see it taking that long. So tune in then. I'm beat right now. I think I'm just going to go upstairs and go crash in front of the TV, to be honest. So, everybody have a good work week, and I'll see you the following week. Have a good one. Later.